English Football League. We're in the northwest for Game 4 of Sky Sports EFL 10 in 10 tonight, and the next stop is the Macron Stadium. Live from Sky Bet League One, it's two informed sides targeting the Championship. Bolton are the hottest side in the Football League right now, but they face a Gillingham side who've rediscovered their own form and are now looking up the table rather than down. It was 7 without a win for Justin Edinburgh's men, but 3 wins in 4 has taken them away from danger. And another win here will see them to within 3 points of the playoff places. Bolton also went 7 without a win earlier in the season, but they've stormed back with 8 wins in their last 9 games. It's seen them climb to 3rd, and a win tonight takes them into the automatic promotion places. Yes, we're dipping into League One tonight for the first time this season in our 10 in 10 on Sky Sports from the EFL. Of course, nothing League One about this place, the Macron Stadium, and that's where Bolton find themselves in League One. Peter Beagrie is with me, and still problems off the field for Bolton, Peter. Ownership problems, money problems. How important is it that Phil Parkinson keeps all that away from not just the players, but the fans as well?
Well, I think he has done. He's been able to manage that situation, and he's obviously said to them, look, from a financial point of view, it can only leave the club in a better place, the better position they are in the league. They need to get out of this league for the football club, and you know, they're going the right way about it. Real close band of brothers, and strong and resilient.
How do you think they found this rich vein of form, 8 wins in 9?
Well, it's been on a solid basis, hasn't it? You know, we look at the 2 centre-halves have been absolutely brilliant. I think they've played about 18 times together, and we see the graphic here, George, you know, built on that sound base. You look at the clean sheets there, just, you know, that one defeat, and it's a tremendous run. And as you say, you know, they have struggled to score goals, but when you don't concede like they do, and he's had the pleasure of picking them 2 centre-halves the vast majority of the time, it gives you a great basis to go off.
One of the big favourites for promotion, do you think, this season?
Well, they were before the start of the season, and without a shadow of doubt, I think Phil, you know, knows the division inside out. That's why he was given the job, and the job description suited him. A massive club. He's been at big clubs before that have been at a higher level, and the expectations, he's been able to manage the club and them expectations.
Gillingham, almost a mirror image on the field in terms of attacking and defending, but also off the field. There's been an undercurrent against Justin Edinburgh, the manager, since losing to Brackley, non-league in the FA Cup. But yet on the field, they're not doing that badly, are they?
No, there's been a great response. You know, 9 points out the last 12, and they were in a bit of trouble. I think mitigating circumstances, unable to get his best 11 on the pitch. They've got a plethora of talent in the forward position, so you know they are one of the top scorers in the division as well. But you know, as far as defensively, that's where they've lacked. I think better players this year than last year, but not as good at performances. But Justin's hopefully getting near his best 11 now, and that should change.
The EFL are keen to showcase the talents of young players in the Football League. We've got 2 good ones tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Zach Clough for me, and it's Zach versus Dak, isn't it? There, you know, the 2 great players, 2 players able to win a game on their own with tremendous individual ability.
Brian is or was the chef at the training ground. Players loved him. Passed away sadly.
Yeah, from the football family, and he'd have took pride in this young man who's a tremendous talent and also a nice, wholesome individual as well. We can see he likes to play in between the lines, but he can also play on the shoulder as well. He can play off the wing, but he always has this thing about finding space. His movement is terrific, and he's a real individual talent. And it's going to be sort of a, you know, we said there, we're looking at the 2 players, Zach versus Dak for me. Vision and awareness from a deep position from Bradley Dak. He's been playing off the left of late because he's had an injury in that, but I love him central. Possesses great ability, left and right foot, and an eye for the spectacular as well. And he's not afraid, he's not a shrinking violent. He will get on the ball, and deadly, as we've seen from Clough as well, from set pieces. two real quality talents who can play within the framework of the side, and they'll be looking in the final third, both teams, to get them players on the ball.
Gillingham haven't played for 16 days. Is that good? Chance to clear up niggles, or bad because you want to get out there and play?
Well, the momentum, you know, you look at it, and if they hadn't won the 3 out the last 4, they'd be saying, oh, chance to get on the training ground. But still, they'll have been on the training ground, working on the pluses that they've got them in this position and moved them up the table in recent weeks. And again, you know, loads of fitness work for the lads who've been out a long time, and a lot of remedial stuff for the players who've played with little knocks and little niggles.
OK, let's hear from both managers then. Phil Parkinson for Bolton, Justin Edinburgh for Gillingham, both with David Craig.
Phil, we've got to start talking about Bolton and the situation they currently find themselves in. Going in great guns on the pitch. Off the field, though, it seems you have some problems. How do you have to work to make sure that doesn't affect the form in the dressing room?
Yeah, it's just purely keeping our focus and what we're doing at the training ground and out on match day, and that's it. No, can't use that as an excuse at all. Confident it will get sorted, and we've just got to keep our focus on what we get paid for.
You'd won 3 out of 4. Previous to that, you hadn't won in your previous 7. What was the reason for that good turnaround in form?
Settled side, being able to select the same starting 11 for 3 of them 4 games, getting our better players on the pitch for long periods of time. We always felt that once we did that, then we would be getting more consistent results and performances, and that's what's happened.
Good spirit amongst the team, the players we inherited and the ones we brought in, working very hard for each other, and we've got some quality as well. And if you can get the balance of a team which is prepared to run and work hard for each other, with quality players as well, it gives you a chance of winning games of football. And we know tonight we'll have to be right our very best, because Gillingham are on a good run of form themselves.
We'll have to win a lot of first and second balls tonight, and then impose ourselves. But we know the size of the task. We know it's going to be tough, but we come here quietly confident and look to impose ourselves. Off the field, at present, I'm sure they're keeping that away from the dressing room. And if they continue to do that, then you know they're certainly going to be one of the favourites to go up.
Wish you well.
Thanks very much, David.
It's the biggest road show in football. EFL 10 in 10. We're on to game 4. It's Bolton against Gillingham, and all the action is live next. We're at the Macron Stadium in League One for the 4th of 10 in 10. 3 previous ones so far have all been home wins. 10 goals so far in those 3 games. Tuesday's Norwich against Aston Villa, but tonight it's Bolton against Gillingham. Peter Beagrie, do you foresee another home win tonight?
Well, that's what I predicted. You know, I thought it would be a Bolton home win because of how the miserly defence and the 2 centre-halves being in outstanding form in front of, you know, Ben Alwick, who's one of the best keepers in the division. But don't write Gillingham off. The rich vein of form, and with the likes of Emmanuel Thomas and a bench which includes Donnelly as well, and Byrne in that 3-0 victory against Rochdale. You know, they can give as good as they get. OK, let's join our commentators. It's Gary Birtles and Gary Weaver.
George, thank you. Well, how has it come to this for Bolton Wanderers again? Just when it looked like it was safe for Bolton fans to come out of hiding and enjoy themselves once more, another off-field storm has hit. Right now, the pitch here at the Macron Stadium is a place of solace where fans and the players can leave their troubles behind. Well, as for Gillingham, they aren't here to be a shoulder to cry on tonight. They've had their own troubles in terms of on-field, but it looks like they can see better times ahead. And this, just the kind of place where they were really inspired last season, going to the big stadiums in this league and hitting the headlines. But a season, Gary, which ultimately fell away, ended in 9th, their biggest, or their highest finish in over a decade. They've had to pick themselves up. They've taken a while to pick themselves up, but it looks like they're getting going.
Certainly does. Great run of form at the moment. Looking to maintain that form. And you have to say, both these teams here will fancy it tonight. Gillingham coming away, they've won 3 away this season. I think they'll get on the front foot with their front 3 and just try and take the game and put a little bit of pressure on Bolton, see what they're made of.
Josh Mellor, Zach Cluck, 2 of those looking to hit the heights tonight. Gillingham looking to keep them at bay. Well, this Bolton Wanderers team are being driven on by two boys from Greater Manchester. Zach Clough and Josh Feller are making names for themselves in this part of the world. They've got the director's box here packed out with scouts week after week. Defensively, Bolton are rock solid. Mark Beevers has been a huge influence on the team, which has conceded just 12 goals so far, and that back four has been helped out by the tigerish Jay Spearing in front of it. Well, there's plenty of guile and creativity about this Gillingham team. At the heart of it is Bradley Dack, their leading man last season. He struggled to hit the heights again this time around, mainly because of injuries. Frank Nouble and J. Emmanuel Thomas will float inside from those wing positions to cause problems. Stuart Nelson makes his 200th league start for the club, a goalkeeper who's made a few mistakes in the last couple of years, but even more big saves. Derek Assadi's unfortunate to find himself out of the starting 11 after filling the boots of David Wheater recently. For Gillingham, Ryan Jackson is fit again, but Billy Knott is not here. So Bolton Wanderers financially have the weight of the world on their shoulders, but this team is making this town smile again. Will their relentless push for the championship continue, or will Gillingham bring more trouble to their door? It's live next. The Macron Stadium is the venue for the 10 in 10 tonight. Bolton Wanderers against Gillingham. Gary, who have you got your eyes on this evening?
Well, I really like to see the contrast between the two teams' respective strikers and what they can bring to the team besides goals. In Zach Clough, you have a really intelligent player with excellent movement, plays on the shoulder of defenders, and with his acceleration off the mark, he causes all sorts of problems when he gets in behind the back four. He's always on the move. And then you look at Frank Nouble. He's a different type of player, strong, athletic, and will look to run at defenders coming inside from the left-hand side. And with his physique, will really look to make life difficult for defenders. And by doing that, will create chances for teammates around him.
Well, I thought you would pick a player with the name Clough. But Zach Clough has been the star man for Bolton Wanderers ever since he burst on the scene. So the bank accounts may be running low, but this Bolton team is full of energy, spirit and talent as they look to plot a way back into the championship. Now's the time to put the off-field troubles which have hit them behind them, as they look to put the pressure on those above them. If Bolton win, they're back into second spot. Gillingham, meantime, with eyes on the playoffs after winning 3 of their last 4 games. That after a really tricky spell for Justin Edinburgh and his men.
I mean, that cup defeat, I think, was a real kick up the backside for them, and he got a response from his players, Justin Edinburgh. You look at their front three, you look at Emmanuel Thomas, McDonald and Nouble. In those three, you feel they can engage the back four of Bolton, especially with Wheater and Beevers there, have been so dominant.
J. Emmanuel Thomas fancying his first foray forward, and that's Dack, who's looking for Wagstaff, who will get forward from that right back position. We will see both sets of fullbacks try to do just that, because both teams playing in a similar manner, with the likes of Nouble and Emmanuel Thomas coming inside from their flanks, and Amiobi and Clough likewise for Bolton.
I've always been impressed with Zach Clough when I've seen him. He's always on the move. He's one of those players defenders hate to play against. He never stands still. He's always looking for that opportunity to get down the sides and behind defenders. And that acceleration, real threat.
This is Ben Alec in goal for Bolton. Looking for the head of Gary Medine, who will take a few hits as ever this evening and try to build a platform for his side.
I think sometimes he gets a little bit forgotten about. The focus on Zach Clough, understandably, but it's pivotal for this Bolton team.
Yeah, scored in the FA Cup against Sheffield United, his first goal in 14 games, Gary Medine. He's a goal scorer, he wants goals. That's what strikers all want, but as we say these days, players in that position play a bigger part than just scoring the goals.
Yeah, he makes things happen around him. He's strong, physical presence out there. Now you see.
Good strength from Gary Medine, and fancying his chances.
Well, that's brilliant centre-forward play, it really is. A long ball, and he's just backing into the defender, as good strikers do. Strong kick by Anik there. Look at him, backing in. Great first touch. Side steps, not the greatest strike, but early in the game, why not? Try and catch the goalkeeper napping.
J. Emmanuel Thomas, that's Josh Wright, who is snapped into. Josh Villa with that challenge there for Bolton. This now is Sammy Amiobi. On the outside here is Wilson. Also that's to Sammy Amiobi again, who was given a rocket at half-time by Phil Parkinson in the FA Cup tie, and then scored a rocket in the second half. He's becoming a little bit of a fan's favourite here. Unpredictable is the word, Gary.
Well, you just saw that there. He's full of confidence, prepared to run at defenders, tricky as well, and that makes defenders very wary to dive in and try and get a challenge in on him.
Jay Spearing looking for Amiobi. He's up against the experienced Paul Konchesky here tonight. Josh Villa. Amiobi again, he will fancy this.
2 openings already for Bolton Wanderers, one from Medine and now one from Amiobi. Both not particularly good, but openings all the same.
Well, from the sunshine in Monte Carlo to storm clouds in Bolton. That's Ken Anderson, former agent who was living in Monte Carlo, but has become the chairman of Bolton. He wanted to fund the club 50-50 with Dean Holdsworth. Now he's looking to buy Dean Holdsworth 40%, which Holdsworth has reluctantly agreed to. But there is a third party involved in all of this, whose agreement they also need. And Ken Anderson has said if they can't get the deal done, the club could run into financial trouble again. And he's mentioned administration, which would cost them 12 points.
Which would be a massive, massive blow to them, especially where they are at the moment. Can go back to second in the table tonight. Winning 10 of the last 12 games in all competitions. Impressive indeed.
Well, the odds are it will get sorted out, but the worry lines are deepening amongst the long-suffering fan base here. Bradley Dack on the charge. The referee was just seeing how that unfolded before blowing his whistle. Scott Duncan, the man in the middle tonight.
And that's good refereeing. Watched it progress. Saw that he was nearly fouled there. Stayed on his feet, very honest. And in the end, he is fouled. Excellent refereeing. Some season, didn't he, last season? 15 goals, 11 assists.
Yeah, he's had to deal with injury problems this time around, Bradley Dack. He was moved out to a wing position a few weeks ago, so he was out of the rough and tumble of the midfield area. J. Emmanuel Thomas is taking a big interest in this. Emmanuel Thomas with that pass inside the penalty area, trying to pick out Cody McDonald, unable to do so.
Everybody thought he was going to shoot from there, but just hangs it up. It's a bit too much on it for everybody. They work so much on these sort of situations on training grounds now. We just used to have the one where John Robertson put it at the near post, somebody flicked it on, and then Kenny Burns or Larry Lloyd had put it in the roof of the net. That's the only one we had. But now, you know, it's a lot different. And so it should be.
Emmanuel Thomas. He's trying to find Frank Noble. This now is Wilson. And there's Josh Vella. Too much on that for Amiobi. You mentioned Zach Clough. This is another player who's come through the academy system here from Salford, just down the road. Josh Vella, a player who is attracting a lot of interest right now.
What a massive boost when you get players coming through the academy. Unfortunately, if you're not successful, you're going to lose them.
But equally, the money that will come in for them, vitally important for Bolton right now, if they were to be sold.
He just hopes whoever it is looks at the situation they're in at the moment, top of the league, and think, well, there's prospects here.
Bradley Dack losing out to Wilson. Wilson wins 2 battles. This now is Amiobi. Just trying to keep his players' attention off what is going on upstairs and concentrate on the factory floor. As soon as the financial story hit the headlines, he pulled the players in for a meeting, Phil Parkinson. He wants their 100% focus on this patch of grass, and he's asking the fans to do the same.
Well, looking at the results, he's certainly got that. Players totally and utterly focused on the job in hand.
That's Wheater. Konchesky into the back of Amiobi, making sure he knew he was there. There's Wright. Emmanuel Thomas. Right. Now Wagstaff. Beavers taking charge for Bolton.
Nick thought the ball was going to skid off the surface and through to him then, but just held up. A lot of rain before the game. Pitch is excellent though.
Yeah, Premier League facilities, no question about that. League One football being played here though. There's J. Emmanuel Thomas, faced by Zach Clough, and he's delivered the cross. J. Emmanuel Thomas, and it's dropped here to Max Hamer, who's been amongst the goals this season. And he will stay forward for this corner kick.
Oh, does well here, Emmanuel Thomas. It's all right in the slot. Goalkeeper can't come out for it. Bouncing all over the place. Decent block in the end. Yeah, and it wants to come, can't. Don't know where that ball had dropped there. In the end, it's a half decent block.
Max Hamer, 5 goals to his name this campaign. He never used to score at all. They've done this corner routine before, Gillingham, with Dak rolling it to J. Emmanuel Thomas, but it doesn't come off for them this time. It's presented though back to Newble. Frank Newble. He took a heavy hit. J. Emmanuel Thomas took a heavy hit.
And there you see the double threat from Gillingham from both flanks. Dispossessed there. Newble just picks it up, checks inside and just smashes it. He takes a big hit, but it's back on his feet, and that's poor in the end. It's a good opportunity, not a lot of pressure on him. Just checking everything still the right place there. He did take a hit.
Well, even when you see David Wheater before a game, he always looks knackered and like he's been in a battle. He relishes physical challenges, David Wheater, no question about that. He joined Bolton when they were 7th in the Premier League.
You see what Phil Parkinson's doing with 2 centre-halves building from the back. Wheater and Beavers, 6'5", 6'4". Real good solid base for them.
Bolton caught offside here, but Bradley Dack just left a little on Jay Spearing in the build-up to that.
Oh, it's only just, look, when it's played there, that's so tight. I won't mind that. Next time he might just stay that half yard a little bit further back. Get him behind. Yeah, he puts his arms out. Very close.
Beavers commanding again. He has been all season. Nadine felled by Max Hamer. It has been a bit of a winter break for Gillingham. They've had 16 days since their last game. The positive is that they were able to get a few injured players back and get others who hadn't had a pre-season up to speed. The negative is that it may just have stopped their momentum. We will find out as tonight unfolds. Amiobi trying to give Konchesky the slip. Nice footwork from Medine. Wilson's delivery, and it's down to Josh Feller, who took aim, and Bolton were knocking on the door.
It's a decent block by Hamer, gets something on it, flecks it out for a corner. Dean, great hold-up play again, really well across the line. This is good from Zach Clough. If he realised how much space he'd got there, he might just have taken that on himself.
Jay Spearing on set-piece duty here. Beavers rising, with fouling his man.
This is really good from Sutcliffe. Brings it down on his chest, tries to set it up for his teammate. Decent block, but he had a lot of space and time there. I think he realised how much.
The two local boys linking up for Bolton Wanderers. It's J. Emmanuel Thomas. Beavers intervening again. It gets away from Sutcliffe. Bradley Dack and Spearing in combat again. Nicely done by Sutcliffe. There's the end product here. Medine waiting in the middle. Josh Feller looking for Gary Medine. It's a wonderful Bolton Wanderers goal. Finished by Medine, made by Sutcliffe.
Well, brilliant all round, wasn't it? Everything about this goal is superb. There, lovely little bit of trickery. It's the ball in play. Plays it wide here, just stays onside, and just one touch, and look at the run from two of them, stays onside. It's a real striker's goal, that, from Gary Medine. The assistant said no, the whole of the ball didn't go out. Got two options there, played the right one, played it wide, and Vela just puts a beauty right in the slot, and that's perfect for any striker who's going to gamble that that sort of delivery's coming in. Keeper can't do a lot about it. That's, I say, a real striker's goal. He's brave, doesn't know if the keeper's going to come out and clatter him.
He just flung himself at that. He made sure that was his. And Bolton have hit the front at the Macron Stadium. I mentioned the goal he scored against Sheffield United was his first in 14 games. Now it's 2 in 2. Such is the life of a striker sometimes.
It is, but I think they realise, you know, I said what a pivotal player he can be for them. Not just for goals, his hold-up play.
Low from Dack, it could have been problematic, it still might be. This is Aimer, now right. And that's turned out into a terrific pass from Hassenthaler, but not a terrific cross, and it was a move which was littered with errors from Gillingham.
Yeah, they should have made a little bit more of that attempted shot that skewed off the outside to Bradley Dack. Made there, and then shot, look at that. It turns out to be an absolute cracking pass. Just doesn't make the best of it. There's far too much on it. Yeah, apologies there. Oh, there's Sutcliffe again, just skipping away. No way that went out of play. But they all stop. That's a cardinal sin. You never stop. Play to the whistle. And then look at this for a delivery. Absolutely brilliant for any striker at any level, that sort of delivery.
What we saw there, what Sutcliffe is capable of, a moment of class in the build-up. Bolton on the front foot again with Gary Medine. He wasn't there, but Konchesky deals with it for Gillingham.
It's good from Konchesky. That's experience for you. Spotted the danger, didn't know quite what was behind him, just got rid. Tried to claim the throw-in for his team, but the referee and assistant having none of it.
Amiobi with the back heel, he's trying to link up with Wilson, who's left grounded by Frank Newble.
Strikers have never been able to tackle, really. This is a case in point. There, just a block, the arm comes out, the referee sees it, the assistant didn't. Good decision.
Well, there is plenty of height to hit here for Jay Spearing. Wheater, Amiobi, Beavers, Medine, amongst those waiting. And it goes from Jay Spearing towards Beavers. Gillingham have dealt with it. Bolton Wanderers fans lighting up the Macron tonight in tribute to the club's head chef, Brian Ward, who has passed away suddenly. Big character here. And the players and staff distraught when they received the news. He was here for 18 years, and the fans paying tribute in the 18th minute tonight. Amiobi has found Wilson, and it's carried through to Josh Vela, who couldn't find the target.
I get a bit lucky with the deflection here, just can't make the most of that little bit of luck. Knows he should have done better possibly there. Nice little back heel from Amiobi. There's the big deflection. You think, well, just get over the top of this. Watch his body shape here, doesn't get over it. A little bit hesitant to hit that.
Bolton fans and their Gillingham counterpart as well, standing as one, paying tribute to Brian Ward. There's always the team behind the team. Some real characters, the masseurs, the kit men, the canteen staff. And Brian Ward, a valued member of the Bolton Wanderers backroom staff, who passed away suddenly.
You see Nadine exerting pressure on Aimer.
Gillingham yet to really get going in this game. Bolton on top. Aimer finding Gary Medine, who's becoming a real pest for that Gillingham back line to deal with.
That's the problem when you're playing against somebody like Gary Medine, who starts the game well, scored a goal, he wants to get involved, but as a centre-half marking him, you want to dominate him. And you see Aimer trying to just get over the top of him, trying to assert his domination on Medine.
The usual characters are gathered, waiting for this set piece for Bolton. Spearing with it over the head of Wheater, or just in front of Wheater in the end, and Beaver's arriving too.
Yeah,
inviting delivery.
Yeah, look of exasperation on Jay Spearing's face there, as if why didn't somebody get on the end of that? It was an absolute cracker. What's a decent delivery.
Emmanuel Thomas finding Bradley Dack. This now is Josh Wright. Aimer. That's Hessenthaler.
Again, it's good collective pressure from Bolton Wanderers. Just the back four. They're keeping a really good line, pushing the midfield up, enabling the strikers to close the back four of Gillingham down.
Well, it is usually Josh Vela who starts the press, and he was a little bit too keen there as he fell Bailey Cargill, but the referee has way play on. It's Cargill again, on loan at Gillingham from Bournemouth.
Disappointed, Jay Spearing, that nobody got on the end of this. He puts it in a really good area. Just a little bit too much on it, maybe, from that angle.
Spent the final 2 months of last season sat in the stands, Jay Spearing, as Bolton couldn't afford to pay the £100,000 extra that was due to Liverpool from his transfer deal. Everywhere you look at Bolton, there's been a problem in the last couple of years, but on the pitch, no problems at all so far this season. This now is Thorpe. Vela clattered into by Cargill. Franceschi with work to do here. And work which he does capably.
Again, bags of experience came into play there from Franceschi. 35. You can see he's still in the game at that age. Read that situation really well.
Franceschi again. This now is Frank Newble. Spent last year playing in China, Frank Newble. Dack. There's Newble once more. Konchesky. Newble. Bolton looking to stand their ground here. And Wilson does just that.
Just held on a little bit too long, the two of them, on this left-hand side. The ball in the box would have been a better thing to do.
Newble again was trying to make inroads, but was thwarted once more, this time by Spearing, and Medine in a real rumble there with Max Hamer.
Maybe the referee thought, right, you were both at it, letting that one go. It's a great battle, isn't it? Love to see those sort of battles out there. Centre half, striker, I was trying to dominate.
Bolton have stolen the ball back again. Medine once more. Hamer's there to greet him again. This is Wagstaff. Just Edinburgh urging his team up the pitch.
They haven't been able to do so far, Gillingham. He's get the three key players up front. Emmanuel Thomas, McDonald and Newble into the game. Dack's been involved. Struggled to get those front three, any sort of service. Dack trying to get Emmanuel Thomas into it, but overdoing it. But I think it's all down to the pressing of Bolton Wanderers. Not been apart very often, have they, those two in the first 25 minutes. There it is again. Decent battle. The referee, I think, just says, right, you were both at it this time. And they probably were.
Yeah, I don't think Scott Duncan fancied picking the bones out of that one.
No. Wise.
Amiobi, he slipped this through to Zach Clough. It's Clough. And Stuart Nelson comes up with the goods for Gillingham.
Fabulous goalkeeping. The whole of this stadium more or less thought this was 2-0. Lovely by Amiobi, sets it up beautifully. Nice, I think, to go through the legs. No real conviction behind that. You think might just dink it over him. Didn't really get behind it. Still decent goalkeeping, narrowed the angle down well.
Yeah, just saw the fist pump there from Stuart Nelson. A big moment for him. It's mentioned in the team he's made some big mistakes in the last year or so, but some big saves as well. He's really had to fight his way back to that #1 spot. He's been given the gloves because of Jonathan Bond's injury, but he'll hold on to the gloves, says Justin Edinburgh, when Jonathan Bond is fit again.
Couplets on target so far, none from Gillingham, which will disappoint just in Edinburgh.
Amiobi. Clough stopped in his tracks that time. Coming together there between McDonald and Thorpe. And Beaver's making his presence felt. He's now out of position. Now can Gillingham cash in here? Wagstaff. Emmanuel Thomas finding Bradley Dack. Bit of space to work in here. Konchesky. This is Newble. Frank Newble again, only 25. This is his 13th club. Konchesky. Newble. Nicely done by McDonald. Back to Newble. Lovely approach play from Gillingham.
Certainly was. A lot of invention in both penalty boxes at the moment. Amiobi, a few little flicks. It's beautifully done. Once, not, and then twice again. Just tries to side foot that. Tries to go across the goalkeeper. Lovely little bit of awareness there. Perfect pace on it. Just doesn't get as much on it as he'd like. Comfortable for the goalkeeper, Anik.
Well, this time it was Bailey Cargill who had the measure of Gary Medine. Gary Medine not happy with the challenge.
Has he got a point? I saw that all over the back of him there.
Yeah, that was Wilson and Frank Newble. This now is Josh Vella. Clough has made the run ahead of him. Zach Clough back towards Josh Vella. It's sensational from Bolton Wanderers. Troubles off the pitch, but in harmony on it.
Absolutely immaculate. an absolute pleasure to sit here with a smile on your face and watch what just happened with that goal. Really is. Two players playing with so much confidence, so much flair. This is where you do your little tricks. They're just so fast and incisive there. They know exactly where each other are. Beautiful back heel by Clough. And what an accomplished finish by Vela. There he plays it. Look at him. His desire to get back in and get on the end of that flick from Zach Clough. Absolutely brilliant. Could have stopped when he played that ball, didn't. And by not stopping, gets his just rewards. Beautifully done by Clough. Beautifully done by Vela. Not meant the goalkeeper. So much confidence from those two young men. An absolute pleasure to watch.
A goal to grace any level. And this place has seen some wonderful goals when Bolton were right at the top of their game in the Premier League. But Josh Vela and Zach Clough, we picked them out before the game, and you can see just why the locals are excited by those two. Gillingham with a little bit of a mountain to climb here.
That's what I want to do, you know, before the game with Zach Clough. Not about his goals, about what he does for the team as well. And you just saw exactly what he does for the team, not just for that goal, but for the first one as well.
Cody McDonald, almost a perfect response.
Just seen her shave the outside of the post. He realises how close he was, just pegging it back very quickly. Dak does brilliantly. Good first touch. Just grazed the post, but only just passed. Fabulous first touch, set him up. The lunge from the defender just did enough to put him off a little. Not bad.
Well, he's had some difficult moments already this season just in Edinburgh, and 2 down at a place like this in the opening half hour. The problems are piling up again.
There again, Medina wins that ball, but you saw Zach Clough and Vela both on the move, expected him to win it in the air. That's the beauty of those two players. They gamble. So often you see players just stood still and not proactive. Those two are very, very proactive indeed.
Well, January may be the time to turn the phone off at Bolton, because clubs will come calling the director's box again. Packed with scouts representing Premier League clubs tonight. Keeping an eye on those two, as well as Bradley Dack, you'd imagine, at Gillingham. At the moment, Bolton, their duo coming out on top.
Well, it's that battle again. Again, it's a pleasure to watch that battle. Seen two cracking goals, but this battle's really intriguing between these two. There they are again, both over the backs of each other. The referee gets it right. No real animosity between the two of them. They're both enjoying it.
Yeah, not yet. There's Hessenthaler, that's spearing. Medina again. Konchesky intervening. Just not sticking for Gillingham. Bolton again, looking to surge forward. Josh Vela.
Good reading of the situation from Cargill there. We would mention the brilliance of the goals, but I think what you have to mention as well is the basics that are being done by Bolton at the moment. The pressing from the back to the front. That's what's causing all the problems. They're not allowing Gillingham any sort of opportunity at the moment.
Konchesky, can he provide the spark here for Gillingham? Seen off by Wilson. There's Bradley Dack. Bringing the tigerish Jay Spearing intervening for Bolton Wanderers. He provides such good cover to that back four. There's Newble. Josh Wright. It's now is Amiobi. Too much on that for Andrew Taylor.
Right idea.
Live Premier League football this weekend. We start in South London with Crystal Palace against Chelsea, who look unstoppable right now. Saturday, 11:30, Sky Sports 1 and in Ultra HD. Super Sunday, how about that? Manchester City against Arsenal, 3:30, Sky Sports 1 and in Ultra HD. And then Monday Night Football, the Merseyside derby. Everton in free fall right now against Liverpool, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, also in Ultra HD.
We're just seeing something rarer than those £4 or £5 notes that are worth £50,000. A foul throw given by an official.
I did wonder where you're going with that. Well, Bolton's strength is their defending, and that's the way that Phil Parkinson built his Bradford team. Phil Parkinson's last 102 games as a manager, his teams have kept 43 clean sheets, so they're difficult to breach. And when you've got the likes of Clough and Vella and Medine doing the business at the other end, it's a potent cocktail.
There are just so many areas they can hit you from at the moment, Bolton Wanderers. You mentioned the spearing, protection he gives. I've been watching Thorpe as well. I think an unsung hero, goes about his business really quietly, leaves all the glory to the players we've already talked about, but such an important part of the team.
Justin Edinburgh still in conversation with his players, trying to find that spark.
Let's put this in perspective. They haven't done a great deal wrong in this first half so far, Gillingham. They've just been undone by pieces of brilliance, individual brilliance. You're playing against a team who won 10 out of the last 12 in all competitions. That is some going into the Christmas period.
They had a rocky autumn which carried on into the start of the winter. Justin Edinburgh's team couldn't win a game. There was some who thought maybe his time was up. This after he led Gillingham to their highest finish in over a decade last season, but the chairman Paul Scally stuck with him. Never even entered Paul Scally's head to make a change. He says he's been staggered by the decision of some of his fellow chairmen already this season.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think it staggers us all at times, or maybe not.
Schweller was the target again. Bit of a miscue there from Konchesky. Made life awkward for Stuart Nelson. And that was about as much as he could do with it.
Yeah, but that's again because the pressure. Because this time Vella's on the move. Talked about Sutcliffe always on the move. Look at this. He doesn't give it up. Tries to exert a bit more pressure because the ball back wasn't particularly a good one.
Amiobi neatly away from right. He's thinking about it, isn't he? Sammy Amiobi eventually has to make the pass. Again, lurking and looking to cause trouble with Sutcliffe in the middle for Bolton.
He's a little bit unlucky here. He knows exactly what he wants to do when the ball comes in. He just wants to get it under control. Look at it. He's not a real great deal of movement there. Tries a little bit of a trick again. Just good defending this time stops him.
That's Taylor. Aimer. Jeff comes up with the answer again and sets Sammy Amiobi away. This now is Laurie Wilson. Spearing. There is Tom Thorpe. It was a mystery to many at Manchester United as to why Tom Thorpe didn't really get his chance at Old Trafford. Just the one appearance, which was a late substitute for Angel Di Maria. That player's moved past him in the pecking order. Amiobi's lost out that time to Wagstaff.
Again, good refereeing. Trying to see how that would progress, but Amiobi drags Wagstaff to the floor. Just loses control of it. Just gets a little bit frustrated by that. He's all over the back of him. Half Nelson.
Just the half, Nelson. There's Bailey Cargill. Right. We've seen from Bolton again this evening is that they will press, but then they'll also take a breather.
But look at the back four. The line they're keeping, how high it is at the right time, and then when they need to drop a little bit further, they do that. but they get protection from Thorpe and from Spirit, and there they pounce. Excellent.
Spirit wanted to take the free kick quickly from that position because Zach Clough was away. The referee wants to pull back.
He's possibly right here, the referee. It's a brave line they keep, Bolton Wanderers, that back four.
Max Ehmer manages to win that particular duel.
Medine is not letting him win it cleanly, so therefore it gives Bolton the opportunity to get around that second ball.
Yes, Alex Bailey-Cargill looking to try and keep an eye on Gary Medine as Andrew Taylor prepares to launch this. Max Ehmer in the way. Taylor, plenty to hit in the middle, and it's Amiobi that was travelling. Terrific save from Nelson. The flag has gone up from the rebound. It won't be allowed, but Stuart Nelson, great reaction to keep out a wonderful effort from Amiobi.
Absolutely stunning from Amiobi and from the goalkeeper. Easy to switch off as a goalkeeper because you think he might take a touch here. What a good decision that is. He was offside. Still a good finish. Amiobi must have thought he'd scored here. Ball comes wide again, and it's put in at a different angle. It's not put in towards the 6-yard box, it's pulled back a little bit, and Amiobi strikes it beautifully. Couldn't do any better.
Well, that was travelling with some venom. The replays didn't quite do it justice, but Nelson had to react quickly because that was flying at him.
Well, he's made 2 good saves, hasn't he? Could easily have been 4-0 in this first half had it not been for him. Experienced goalkeeper, 35 years of age, but great reflexes we've seen so far.
This is Cargill on the charge from the central defensive position, and a decent ball in as well as Cody McDonald went flying in that 6-yard penalty area.
Terrific ball. I don't think Bolton expect this. I didn't expect it from a centre half. Just skids off that surface though. There's only one player in there again though. You have to try and pick him out. One red shirt in the box, and you feel you're going to have to do a little bit better getting numbers in that box to get back in this game.
In the 6-yard area is where Cody McDonald likes to be, to pounce on moments like that, but Bailey Cargill very, very composed on the ball. New ball. And Laurie Wilson getting to know each other there. Just wonder which way the referee was about to see that.
Yeah, I think it was going against Newball there. That's why he just let it go out for a goal kick.
Phil Parkinson did promise that his Bolton players would forget about the off-field troubles and stick to the task in hand tonight, and that is exactly what they've done in the opening 42 minutes here.
Well, the only way players can make a difference is by keep winning games and keep encouraging whoever's going to come in and stabilise the club, convince them that that's the way to go by looking at the results. Otherwise, just get on with your job.
Yep, Chairman Ken Anderson, the man who's looking to try and take over the club 100%, lock, stock and barrel. The cost of running Bolton is around about £800,000 a month, and they've had a drop in TV and sponsorship revenue by £5 million after relegation last season. They're trying their best to get back to the Championship at the first time of asking. Cargill's gone down here.
I'm surprised, a great challenge again by Medine. He's really engaging those 2 centre-halves. Look, concentration, eye on the ball. Nothing wrong with the challenge. Referee's had a good first half.
There's Josh Vella. Zach Clough seen off that time by Wagstaff. Forward by Maxema, looking for Cody McDonald, and Beavers towering above him. This is Bradley Dack. Konchesky. There's Jay Emmanuel Thomas, who hasn't really got himself involved in the game as an attacking force as of yet.
It's difficult because Gillingham in midfield have not really had that decent possession to get them involved.
Now he finds Newball. Newball back to Jay Emmanuel Thomas. No real trouble for Anik.
No, just trying to make something happen just before half-time. Trying to get his team back in the game. It's got to be a spectacular one from that distance.
Well, you never rule anything out with Jay Emmanuel Thomas. He's capable of the magical on his day. That's Newball, who gets the free kick.
Again, the referee tries to play an advantage, sees it's not going to happen, blows up for the foul. I think players like that, they respect that.
We will have 1 extra minute at the end of this first 45, and Gillingham looking to try and make an impact. Try to change things just before the break here. Dack's delivery. Jay Emmanuel Thomas gets his head on it. He and his Gillingham attackers are up against such a solid, dependable Bolton defence here.
You see Wheater and Beavers, say 6'5", 6'4", difficult to get through them that way. You've got to try and play around them. The two full-backs do a really good job. Taylor and Wilson just tuck in behind, got pace, and they just trust each other, that back four.
Bolton absolutely bossing this, and the two local boys have lit this place up this evening. Zach Clough, a huge part in both goals. The second was finished by Josh Vella. After the first was scored by Gary Medine, who's been in a real battle with the Gillingham back four tonight. He's got his goal. Bolton leading Gillingham by 2-0 at the break.
2-0 to Bolton Wanderers against Gillingham, and 12 goals so far in our 10 in 10, and a second half still to come. Peter Beagrie, I'm drooling here, and it's not my age. It's two wonderful goals, two lovely goals.
Yeah, superb goals, a great first half performance, and they're wanting to add goals to that as well. And it's a brilliant, brilliant move. We see the individual ability from Clough there, and then the awareness, and a very fluid, three players behind there. We look at that and it's marginally offside for me, but there's a lot that happens after that, a lot of quality. This ball here is sensational. It just says go on ahead me, score a goal. Brave by Medine, takes up a brilliant position off the back of the centre half. It's great vision and awareness. The first from Clough there, plays the ball at the right time, and this is an absolute peach of a cross. Well, it's a pass right into his path airily, and there, Brave, you're going to get clattered, but when there's a goal at the end of it, absolutely brilliant. And that's what Medine gives him. He gives him a genuine target.
Goal ball. And the second one, I mean, a couple of academy youngsters coming through the ranks of Bolton, and beautiful play.
Yeah, again, it's mixing the game up. We said Vella there, getting him the ball from the centre half. Beautiful into play there. Pass and move football. Don't relax. Don't say, what a good pass. I've been involved initially, and that's my job done. Pass and move, pass and move. Clough has a great run, finds space. Great little back heel there as well. Awareness of his, putting it into his path of Vela, and a great return from midfield from Vela. Accomplished player, and 2 youngsters there playing at the top of the game, enjoying playing against each other on a big stage.
2-0, could have been more though.
Yeah, could have been, and some wonderful football again. I mean, people say that Bolton are a bit of a long ball team because they've got some big players. We see the intricacies here. We said about that, the fluidity there. We've rolling in off the line, Amiobi through to Clough, and great save from Nelson, makes himself big, comes and narrows the angle as well, and this is great technique. Instead of slashing at it, big surface on it, tremendous volley, good height for the keeper, push it out, and unfortunately, he's offside there, Clough, but finished it. But we said about them, the 3 players behind Medine, he's never been isolated, never been on his own, and the movement, Gillingham are finding it terribly difficult.
Gillingham have been comeback kings at times this season.
Yeah.
They have had a couple of chances themselves. Can they come back?
I don't think so, just because of the resilience of the defence of Bolton. These are half chances for me. Great back heel from Cody MacDonald. At 1-0 as well, George. That was a good chance from Noble, who's been in good goal-scoring form. And here, MacDonald, who's always got, a shot, a sight of goal there, and just goes the other side of the post. So, not dead and buried as far as Gillingham are concerned, but against this defence who's been impenetrable of late.
Yeah, and as we stand then, Bolton into the automatic promotion positions. They're up to second as it stands at the moment. So good news for Bolton. What can Gillingham do in the second half?
Here's the end product here. Medine waiting in the middle. Josh Vela looking for Gary Medine! It's a wonderful Bolton Wanderers goal! Zach Clough back towards Josh Vela! It's sensational from Bolton Wanderers! Troubles off the pitch, but in harmony on it!
Real quality from Bolton Wanderers. 2 goals up against Gillingham in League One. Those goals were better than League One. Talking about quality, on Saturday it's Crystal Palace against Chelsea. On Super Sunday it's Bournemouth against Southampton, followed by Manchester City against Arsenal. And Monday Night Football is Everton against Liverpool, the Merseyside derby, all on Sky Sports 1. And if you've made a 500 or about to make a 500-mile round trip from the Medway, you're not very happy about what you've seen so far. Gillingham, 2 goals down at half-time. Can they come back in the second half? We'll see in a few moments' time. Only Bristol Rovers, Peter Bakery, have come back more times, if you like, than Gillingham this season, but it's a big ask now, isn't it, with players like Vela playing so well for Bolton?
Yeah, absolutely, but if you look at the last game against Rochdale, he used his bench really well, did Justin Edinburgh, and you've got the likes of Donnelly on there and Mark Byrne, who made a massive impression in that game. So, not all is not lost, and a quick goal at the start of the second half and up the tempo, and you can get the people nervous here at Bolton.
We shall see. Let's go back to our commentators then, Gary Birtles and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, George. Justin Edinburgh hoping that he's plotting a way back into this game for Gillingham. Bolton Wanderers well and truly on top. And when Phil Parkinson took over here, he didn't make any big bold claims, any big bold statements. He said he just wanted to stabilise Bolton Wanderers. He wanted to put the pride back into that shirt after the troubles that they had had. We've seen plenty of that pride, plenty of energy, plenty of talent out there. Those players wearing that Bolton badge on their chests. Now, can they see the job through, or will Gillingham give them something to think about in this second half? Gillingham attacking the end with a small knot of fans who made the long old journey tonight, are sitting and hoping that the team can warm them up here at the side of Winter Hill.
Yeah, we always say how important the next goal is when it's a 2-0 scoreline. And I'm sure both managers reiterated that to the players at half-time. Bolton get the third, you feel game over. Gillingham get one back. Like you say, jitters around the ground, who knows?
That's Wagstaff, charged down by Zach Clough, who has managed to keep the ball in play. Wagstaff's back at him. And the two eventually hit each other, and Wagstaff will get the free kick. But Zach Clough immediately, the start of the second half, showing again what he's all about.
He certainly doesn't give anything up, does he? And Wagstaff does very well indeed. Gets his body across that Clough, who gets frustrated, gives the free kick away.
That's Beavers. There's Wagstaff. J. Emmanuel Thomas losing out. Josh Feller, though, playing the ball straight to Max Amer.
We've realised this Bolton team aren't just about one man. We've talked about Zach Clough and Vela. But you've seen Medina's contribution, you've seen the two centre-halves, you've seen Spearing, Thorpe, go right through the team. And there's a real good team ethic in that dressing room. They work for each other. Team game, the individual flair comes out. We'll see what that can do.
As Dak, that was fizzed at right. Beavers taking charge ahead of Taylor. Taylor looking to impose himself on that midfield area. There's right. Ball has come out.
Yeah, that was the problem in the first half. They couldn't impose themselves on Bolton Wanderers in midfield. There again, we see the pressing that was so impressive first half. Force a mistake from Gillingham.
You mentioned the defensive record that they have under Phil Parkinson and the defensive record he had at Bradford City as well. He says there's no magic formula. He just works on repetition in training, and one centre-half heads the ball and the other isn't covering behind him. Both have to hit the deck and do press-ups. He said there's no magic formula to doing it.
But
it's
it
just
makes sense.
Defending old school, he says, really. Head it, kick it.
Yeah, and anything else is a bonus. My gaffer always used to say that. And you always help your mate out. If he was going to head it, you just drop off a couple of yards and make sure that if he didn't win it, you were going to win the next ball.
You mentioned to me how Chelsea used to win titles under Jose Mourinho, and how Antonio Conte has got Chelsea playing defensively as well this season. Their strength at the back with that back three.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, David Luiz has been a real eye-opener for a lot of people. I've often said I struggle to find world-class defenders anymore, centre-halves, because I think, again, the snobbery in the game, they have to do things that maybe they're not used to, bring it out from the back. And we've seen that sometimes old school can work. Wheater and Beavers are proving that point. If you've got two full-backs who cover round and are honest as well, then you should be okay.
There was Beavers. Emmanuel Thomas. This now is Wagstaff. Wagstaff turning neatly away from Thorpe. Konchesky's delivery. McDonald looking to make something of it.
That's better from Gillingham. Well, one in midfield there. Direct run, sees the ball wide, plays it. It's played in early. Trying to catch the defenders out. It's difficult to catch those two out, but that's how you do it. You put one in early, try and catch them unawares. Enough pressure there from Beavers to put him off.
There's Wheater. Amiobi. Chesky with that foul on Tom Thorpe. Caught him late after he moved the ball on.
Good between the assistant referee and the referee here. The assistant flagged straight away. And it is late. He had a good view of it, the assistant.
Amiobi gets that all wrong.
Must be something about that right-hand side. That got one terribly wrong in the first half of Gillingham.
And he led Bradford City on quite an adventure. Thought it was time to change clubs in the summer. And he is making his mark here, no question about that.
Well, you listened to Jay Spearing's interview before the game, and that's That's what he was trying to stress, that all the players are bought into what Phil Parkinson wants them to do, and you can see the end products out there.
Amiobi on one of his driving runs. Wheater literally trying to keep a hold there of Cody McDonald, and then Beavers was covering, and the ball thumped away by Anik. Gillingham do average more points when they concede the first goal, so they do have powers of recovery. This is a big ask in the second half. Konchesky. There's Newble. Trying to lose Laurie Wilson, who stuck to his task, and now Jay Spearing. A chance to run for Zach Clough, and that could mean trouble for Gillingham. Not that time, though. Samer was alive and alert to it. Now it's Bradley Dack. It's Newble. Newble's cross. It was a fantastic header from Hessenthaler, who couldn't quite find the target.
I think he'd be a little bit disappointed that he didn't at least hit the target. It's a fantastic effort. Delivery's absolutely brilliant. Attacks it well, just scrapes past the post. You feel he was just challenged well. Difficult angle to try and twist his body to get it actually on target, but it's a decent effort.
And his dad Andy says that Jake is a better player than him. Andy says he used to go around himself just kicking players. Jake has a bit more class about him. Medine, and Vella was waiting in the middle.
The idea was a good one there. I was sure it was a shot. I think he was just trying to get a different trajectory into the box here. Amiobi does well again. I don't think it is a shot. I think it is a cross to try and cause a few problems. Different height. Oh, you see that? It's been a positive start from the second half for Gillingham. Got on the front foot, and I'm sure that's what Justin Edinburgh wanted from them. Can they maintain it?
Cody McDonald trying to latch onto that. This now is Hessenthaler. Pumped away by Wheater. Vella in a tangle with Josh Wright.
Just got a bit of momentum, haven't they, at the moment, Gillingham? He'll be pleased, I think, with what he's seen in the early stages.
Well, one thing he's trying to improve his team on is when they don't have the ball. He wants them to be a little bit nastier.
Well, the best teams in the world, the best teams at any level, do that better than anybody else without the ball. What they do without the ball. Barcelona were brilliant at it. Their majestic pomp.
Clough moving the ball on to Vella, who tries to find Clough again. Those two looking to link play for Bolton. J. Emmanuel Thomas, seen off by Taylor. To finding Laurie Wilson. You know, we talk about the Bolton centre halves and this wonderful defensive record they have. Of course, Andrew Taylor and Laurie Wilson played their part too.
That's what I say about them covering. They've got pace. They'll tuck in. They won't leave big gaps that opposition can run in between.
It's Bailey Cargill who's having to pick himself up after that challenge a few seconds ago. Probably didn't appreciate the ball being played to him.
It's always the same. When you just had a knock, your teammate give you the ball.
J. Emmanuel Thomas, Hessenthaler. There's Wilson. Now Amiobi. There's Bradley Dack for company. Almost managed to smuggle that ball through to Wilson. And it will be a corner for Bolton.
Again, it's the pressure that causes the problems. They don't give up. Everything is ran for, it's chased down, lost causes. Yeah, second best, you think, well, Konchesky's in charge, but that pressure just makes him make the mistake, give the corner away. Gets his feet tangled up. Phil Parkinson must be delighted with what he's seeing from his team out there.
Spearing with the corner. There's Amiobi. Second time Emmanuel Thomas gets his head to it. That was loose there from Taylor. Essenthaler. Gillingham will be bringing on fullback Ryan Jackson very shortly. Just wonder whether it will be a straight swap for Wagstaff or whether just Neddenberg will fancy moving Wagstaff further forward onto the right back role that he's occupying tonight. There's Dak. Nubel. Konchesky. Max Amer moving forward. It's Cody McDonald trying to make things happen for Gillingham. Essenthaler. It's been better from Gillingham in the second half so far. Emmanuel Thomas.
A lot wrong with the delivery. Good goalkeeping, good handling. Puts it into a good area. A little bit too close, but it's not the worst ball I've ever seen. I just would have liked to have seen Emmanuel Thomas and Nubel switch flanks just a little bit, just to mix things up.
Ella tried to latch onto that. The bounce beat him. And that's one thing we haven't seen. I know just Neddenberg wanted Emmanuel Thomas to stay on the right and come inside on his left foot, and Nubel stay on the left, come inside on his right foot.
But if it doesn't work, try something else.
We're hearing it will be Frank Nubel to make way for Ryan Jackson's arrival. Essenthaler seeing a bit more of the ball. This is Dak. Emmanuel Thomas. There's Jay Spearing snapping at his heels. Still managed to play a cute ball though. Essenthaler's cross. Cody McDonald. No real power to trouble Ben Alec, but it is better from the visitors.
Well, we talked about the 2 goals now that we've constructed for Bolton. This was beautifully crafted. Emmanuel Thomas strong. There's the ball wide. The cross is a cracker. The attack's good. Just cannot get it past Anik. To generate his own power there. Straight at the goalkeeper. Either side, we've got a chance.
Just seeing Phil Parkinson down below us pacing the technical area. Maybe a little bit worried that Gillingham could find a route back into this. Here's the change. Ryan Jackson, who's just returned to fitness, coming on to replace Frank Nubel. So Ryan Jackson, the fullback by trade. Whether he'll go into his right back role or whether there'll be another manoeuvre here and possible change in system from Justin Edinburgh. We wait to see. Nubel off, Jackson on. There's Bradley Dack on the charge. Emmanuel Thomas immediately trying to get Jackson involved in the action here.
Spearing gets that wrong, but at least he was in the right place to get something on it anyway. The ball was a decent one from Emmanuel Thomas. First contribution here. It's definitely in the ascendancy, Gillingham at the moment.
They start with the corner, inviting Anik off his line. He takes up the invite. Same has just come across to get more instructions from Justin Edinburgh about the way that Gillingham are changing things here. Wagstaff caught there by Medine. The referee was happy with the challenge. The Gillingham bench was not.
The referee was on the blind side, I think, of this. The assistant probably was in a better position to see this. The arm seems to come across. Well, no, it was just a shoulder, wasn't it? First it looked a little bit worse than it was. He seems to catch him on the side of the head, but it's a shoulder, not an arm. Still not the best you've seen. I thought the previous one was a free kick, and that's just compounded their frustration with the referee for not giving the previous one.
Bolton here looking to take advantage of Scunthorpe's slip over the weekend and close the gap on the leaders of League One. The win will put them 1 point behind Scunthorpe. And they meet here on New Year's Eve. Wheater gets his head on it. That's Jackson. Right. Josh Vella. Almost everything's coming off of Vella tonight. There's Jay Spearing. Opened up for Spearing. Nelson with the save. And Medine fires wide on the follow-up.
Tell you what Nelson does well, because from our vantage point here, there was definite movement in that shot. Spearing does really well, hits it well, and you see there the movement. Dealt with it well, but you expect Medine to do a little bit better here. Great little run there. Nearly confused him, and you expect him to at least hit the target. Go back across the goalkeeper. That could have just put the game very safe for Bolton Wanderers.
Just in terms of the way Gillingham are shaping up now, still the same formation, but Wagstaff has gone over to the left-hand side of a front three. Ryan Jackson has taken his place in the right-back position. That's Taylor. Taylor seemed to be trapped back there by Josh Wright. He thought he got away with it for a second, but the referee across to administer a little bit of punishments to the Gillingham captain.
Certainly looked the right decision, didn't it? There, pulls him back. Easy one for the referee.
His family have made their name in a reality show in Essex. Josh Wright feels at times that maybe has counted against him in his career. He proudly wears the captain's armband of Gillingham, and he'll hope that free kick he's given away will not lead to anything for Bolton here. Medine ready to pounce, inviting ball from Jay Spearing, and taking up the invitation was Gary Medine on a plate.
Well, I just sat here and went, oh, when that ball delivered, I went, whoa, what a delivery that is. Because we're right behind it. It's an absolute peach. And who's the man on the end again? Just lets it come onto him. Doesn't try and get too much on it. Knows where he is. Round that 6-yard box and just gets that feather touch on it. No real movement, look at that though. Knows where he is. A lot of players panic, I think, when they're in the box. Don't realise how close they are. Try and do too much with it, but that's just a feather. Absolutely fabulous. The free kick was delightful. The header looked easy, but believe me, easy to miss.
We mentioned, Gary, what he brings to the team in terms of his hold-up play, but he's a striker. How important is it to him that he gets on the score sheet, as he has tonight?
Oh, it's important to every striker. You're desperate to get a goal. When you've been on a bad run, you finally get it right. You feel so good about yourself. You go out there with so much confidence, you expect to score every game, in every attack. Well, after all the pressure, didn't get anything out of it, didn't get a goal back, and all of a sudden, quality into the box does for them.
Gillingham manager is raging right now. There's Wagstaff. Looking for something to try and raise his spirit here. Hessenthaler, the door slammed shut. There's Emmanuel Thomas. Hessenthaler's on the move. Gillingham unable to find him.
See, I look at a difference there. Emmanuel Thomas has done better this second half, but he's picked that ball up and played it wide and then just stopped. You saw in the first half, Vela pick it up, play it, carry on, get himself a goal. You know, those slight little nuances, differences there, make so much difference.
Well, listen, Justin Edinburgh did say that when he signed J. Emmanuel Thomas on loan, he knew what he was getting. At times he will frustrate and infuriate, other times he will take the breath away.
Yeah. But what do you do with a player like that? It's difficult to know what to do, but you saw from the goal in the first half what can happen if you do the right things. You pick the ball up and you're that hungry to get it back and you want to go yourself.
Bolton on the front foot again. Aymer with that challenge on Zach Clough. He's got the free kick, Max Aymer.
Who, me? Again, movement. He's always on the move. He's always expecting it to come his way. Just coming together, wasn't it? Could have given it either way.
There goes Jackson. Bolton are bringing on Chris Taylor. And the man who will make way is Zach Clough. Well, we have seen tonight just why the scouts, week after week, are packing this place to watch this man.
Well, I think that surprised everybody around the stadium. You still want to watch a player like Zach Clough play his trade. But maybe the manager wants to give him a little bit of a breather, realises how important he is for his team.
Well, Zach Clough's dad, who chose Bolton instead of Manchester United when Zach Clough was 8. And Bolton are reaping the rewards. Jackson with that long throw of his. Wheater meets it. That's Dak. Another ambitious effort there from Cody McDonald, but it almost came off.
Nothing wrong with that. Striker doing these things in the box comes naturally. There's anything you can possibly do there. Great contacts, good technique. It's not enough to get it past Anik.
Taylor. Andrew Taylor. It was Chris Taylor. And appeals to handball, not given, but Chris Taylor's in, and Nelson came up with the goods again for Gillingham.
Well, they were appealing for handball there. Again, Nelson comes to the rescue, as he did a couple of times in the first half. We're talking about handball there. Referee's in a really good spot. Again, Nelson does exceptionally well. Now he flicks it up. Does it come off his arm? Kicks it onto his arm. You could say that's accidental. In the situation it was in, some referees would have given it, but it was accidental.
Gary Medine on a hat-trick, waiting in the middle. Jay Spearing, another delicious delivery from Spearing. Same old routine.
Well, they've got so many targets from set pieces, and that man in your picture just delivers on a regular basis. A little bit of movement there from Medine. Marcus losing there, look. Just gets it maybe a little bit too early on that one. But Jay Spearing, quality of his deliveries has been absolutely superb. Well, 23 attempts between the two of them. Bolton 7 on target. That just shows you how well Nelson's done.
Well, the 10 in 10 is delivering goals. 3 more here tonight, all the way at Bolton, and they're hungry for more. Vela putting a squeeze on Josh Wright.
That's good from Vela, because you see a lot of players give a silly free kick away there when defenders under pressure, but he kept the pressure on and got the throw in for his team deep in Gillingham territory.
Taylor to Taylor. Offside this time against Bolton.
Suggested offside there. Assistant made a good decision, good position to give it. Flag went straight up. Well, he must be chuffed a bit from what he's seen. Maybe a bit concerned at 2-0 that Gillingham started the second half particularly well.
There goes Cody McDonald for Gillingham. Emmanuel Thomas. And now Hessenthaler. Nicely done by Anik.
Well, nothing they seem to do gets past Anik at the moment. Yes, he's onside. Look how he's, the times he's run, he stays onside there. It's really well. You think the danger's gone here because the block comes in, it's a decent one. They get a little bit of luck. And they just close down in packs, don't they? Hessenthaler finally gets a shot away, but not enough power to beat Anik.
There's Wagstaff in a more advanced position now where he likes to be. He's lost out there though, and this is Sammy Amiobi. Amiobi has found Chris Taylor. He finds the back of Aimer.
Again, the closing down has been absolutely brilliant from Bolton Wanderers. That's what started the move on the far side.
Hessenthaler not too impressed, that's gone against him. Gillingham did overachieve last season. They were on the Championship doorstep when the rest finally caught up with them and burst through ahead of them. Has raised expectations though around the club. What they nearly achieved last season was terrific on a lower third budget. Found life hard this time around. And found life hard here tonight.
And look at that for closing down. Absolutely different class it is.
Wilson wants it back and gets it back. Konchesky with the challenge.
Must be a real team spirit out there among all the players. Say they hunt in packs, they close down. This is where it gets you. He was a man who closed down and made it all happen to start with. Wilson.
Spearing again. They have so many threats, the likes of Medine, Wheater, Beavers. And the delivery is absolutely spot on, as it has been most times tonight from Jay Spearing. They can be unstoppable.
Yeah, when you've got Beavers and Wheater in there with their height advantage and Medine, you've got to be really concentrated to stop that ball getting towards those three targets. There's that battle again. Medine, Aimer.
Yeah, they are getting to know each other very well tonight, Max Aimer and Gary Medine.
To say again, you don't feel like Gillingham have done a whole lot wrong. Yeah, they should have picked up better maybe for the third goal. But I think against anybody else, they might have caught something, but they're playing against possibly the best team form-wise in League One at the moment.
Hessenthaler moving the ball on to Jackson. That's Wagstaff. Again, it comes to nothing for Gillingham. More live football to come on Sky Sport as the 10 in 10 continues. Norwich the venue tomorrow against Aston Villa, 7:30 Sky Sports 1. And then Wednesday, it's Wigan against Sammy Amiobi's parent club, Newcastle, 7:30 Sky Sports 1. It's his final year of his contract at Newcastle, and Phil Parkinson keen to extend his loan here beyond January. Wilson on the outside again. Nelson, goalkeeping. Took command, took charge and came away with the ball.
It's excellent goalkeeping, takes the pressure right off his defence. can see his team are under a little bit of pressure there. Comes out, gets that palm on it. It's a little bit of luck because there's nobody following in, but excellent goalkeeping.
In a recent interview, he spoke emotionally and passionately about the mistakes he's made in games at Gillingham, but says it doesn't make him a bad keeper. Loves playing for the football club. Beaten 3 times tonight, though, so far. Dack's cross. Emmanuel Thomas was closing in on that. It was taken away from him.
Beavers again, getting the vital interception.
Anik this time looking to take charge of his penalty area. Gillingham finds something to get them some cheer here. Spearing intervening there. Tessenthaler. There's Bradley Dack. Seeing the usual hustle and bustle from him tonight. Plenty of energy from Bradley Dack, but not too much has come off for him.
Well, Gillingham claiming corner there. Must have been the faintest touch if it was.
Well, he is a manager of huge experience, particularly in non-league football, just in Edinburgh. Over 500 games at that level. He was applying for jobs in the Football League, but didn't get them, so he thought the only way to break into the Football League was with a promoted club, and he took Newport County from non-league back into the EFL, and then got his break at Gillingham after that. He admits this season, and Gillingham are going through that really bad spell of autumn and early winter, was the trickiest he's had as a manager. Emmanuel Thomas, Jackson. Emmanuel Thomas, seen off by Taylor. Here's Josh Vella striding forward with purpose for Bolton. Amiobi. Sami Amiobi! Another special goal on a special night for Bolton Wanderers.
Well, how to bring a stadium to life. Just watch this. Just sit back and just enjoy this. This is stunning. Absolute screamer. Not any goalkeeper. You could put 2 or 3 in there. Wouldn't have stopped it. Beautifully struck. Straight to the underside of the bar, roof of the net. Maybe he should have been closed down a little bit better here. Just steps inside. Look at that. Absolutely sensational.
Well, you would say that that is becoming a trademark goal for Sami Amiobi. Paul Konchesky knew exactly what Amiobi wanted to do there, but just couldn't stop him.
But the quality of the strike was just out of this world. Just so clean, so pure. So fabulous to watch.
Well, 4 goals, and you have to say, in their own right, 4 terrific goals from Bolton tonight.
Magnificent. We're talking about the header probably being the worst of the 4, if you like. The second header from Medine, but there was still an art to what he did with that. The quality of the ball that was put in, and the realisation of where he was in the box and what he had to do with the header. Takes some doing still.
Now that is silly. Bolton fans urging Amiobi to shoot from 10 yards outside his own penalty area. But this is Gary Medine, who's on a hat-trick. Medine, Colby gets the better of him once. Medine is back for more. Josh Wright gets to it.
He's been a constant threat, hasn't he, Gary Medine? He's made life so uncomfortable for the 2 centre-halves. His honesty.
in 10 is delivering goals, and fabulous goals too. And Bolton have played a big part in that tonight. This is Dak. Peter with his eyes on that. Cody McDonald with an unfortunate slip.
Well, even the big centre-half's getting involved in the trickery.
Well, you know it's a good night when David Wheater's doing step-overs. Well, there's the chairman, Ken Anderson, who still has to try and sort out the financial troubles of Bolton. Tomorrow he will have an audience with the fans, which could well be lively. But on the pitch, Bolton are taking care of business tonight, and Sammy Amiobi has really lit this place up with this moment of magic.
Sit back, smile and enjoy. It's a work of art, really is. No wonder that big smile is on his face.
Off he goes, on comes James Henry. He's been searching for a goal for a long time himself. He's hoping a little bit of the magic has rubbed off on him as he makes his way onto the pitch. And a change here from Gillingham as well. Jay Emmanuel Thomas, who's had a little bit of a frustrating night, just like his team. He makes way, and on comes Rory Donnelly.
Sometimes in a 4-0 win there's a scruffy goal or two in the 4 goals, but not one has been scruffy.
Rory Donnelly looking to try and add something to Gillingham's front line here. So try and get something to smile about on what's been a tough old night for them. They thought it would be coming here, and it's proved to be just that.
Look at the captain there, 4-0 up inside the last 10 minutes. He's getting back there, getting a foot in. And that's been an impressive thing. Not just the 4 goals, the quality of the 4 goals, the teamwork from 10 outfield players has just been really good to watch.
Hessenthaler. This is Donnelly, and now Jackson. Jackson away from Chris Taylor. And it was Andrew Taylor who got the touch on it. It was Thorpe on the stretch. That was risky from Vella.
Maybe or just in Edinburgh say to his players at full time, they haven't done that bad. It's not been a shocking performance, it's just been a very, very good one from Bolton Wanderers. Quality of the goals have been excellent. The only thing you'd probably say we could have done better defensively for those goals, but the quality sometimes does you, and you have to accept it sometimes. Not nice to, but
Spearing again, making his presence felt, shall we say.
well, there's a reason you're captain, and you can see why he is. Leading by example out there, demanding everything off his teammates. And there's his helper, Thorpe, getting a foot in.
Yeah, Tom Thorpe used to be Paul Pogba's midfield partner in the youth team at United. That's Medine. If it does stay like this and Bolton don't concede, that will be 103 games for Phil Parkinson. His last 103 games as a manager, 44 clean sheets.
Magnificent.
Does include, of course, Bradford City.
I know how important that is. I played for a guy, Brian Clough, who built his teams on that sort of mentality. Defend from the back. Be solid. Don't give anything away. It reverberates through the team.
Asentala. Jackson. There's Tom Thorpe. Bit of space here for Spearing.
I watched the defeats for Bolton at Peterborough early in the season, and Peterborough deserved to win that game.
Keshi Anderson's coming off of Bolton, and it will be Josh Bella who will be replaced here. Another man who's had a fine night on this patch of grass.
And the quality of his goal was just eye-catching, to say the least. Where he picked the ball up, he started the move, and he finished it beautifully.
So Keshi Anderson on the field, and he is on loan for Crystal Palace right now. And Bradley Dack, well, he looks forlorn, distraught as he makes way, and on comes Mark Byrne. Who seems to follow Justin Edinburgh around. In terms of Josh Vella, though, he's been played at fullback in the past for Bolton, central midfield, now back as a number 10 where he was in the under-18s at Bolton, and looks like he's found his perfect position.
He certainly does, and he can only mature and grow into that role if he can make it his own. You can see why a lot of teams are watching him, charting his progress.
This is Gary Medine. Look who's close to him again, Max Amer.
Yeah, 89th minute, and Gary Medine is making that lung-busting run into the corner, stretching the defenders.
Beavers. Medine beaten to it that time, and slamming him with the challenge was Beavers. Keshi Anderson giving chase to this, and that's the question of the referee. Is Konchesky got a little bit of a hand there on Keshi Anderson?
Certainly looked to be contact, but the referee was maybe saying, well, you wouldn't have got the ball. Went straight through to the goalkeeper.
Asentala. Jackson. That's Beavers. Now Taylor. Right on the cover. Being put under immense pressure from Chris Taylor.
Here's that contentious moment. There's contacts outside the box. There's certainly contact in it. That's a pen. The only thing I can think of was why the referee didn't give it is maybe it was skidding through to the goalkeeper, but on that angle he might have just got something on it. Well, that for me is a foul. He's not done a lot wrong, the referee. I think that was a pen.
Has been one for awarding penalties of late as well, Scott Duncan, so he's not afraid to make a big decision. Again, they're trying to barge their way forward through James Henry, Bolton Wanderers, but that time Gillingham saw them off.
Well, they're in the 91st minute and they're still desperate to get another goal. A lot of teams sit back and think, oh, we've done our job, but there's still desire to go and get more out there, and that's so difficult for any opposition.
Well, if you were to ask anyone what you thought Bolton's strengths were, you would say defensively, but tonight we've seen them as an attacking force as well and play some wonderful football. They've danced around Gillingham at times.
The strength is their teamwork. They're a team with blessed individuals in there as well who can make things happen in that final third.
He has eyes on Scunthorpe, he has eyes on Sheffield United. both above Bolton at start of play tonight.
You feel anybody in League One watching this performance tonight will not want to play against Bolton Wanderers in the current form.
There's Gary Medine. Cargill got to him. Wilson. Vikeshi Anderson. Henry on the charge. He's desperate for a goal. James Henry. A bit of hesitancy there from Gillingham, but Franceschi eventually was on his toes. Next up for Gillingham is a home game against MK Dons and then a trip to Peterborough. Which could be another tough assignment. Peterborough going well right now.
League One again looking very, very good. Real entertaining games we've had so far this season.
McDonald. Donnelly trying to pick up the baton. See it for Ryan Jackson to use his long throw to try and cause a little bit of havoc at the back for Bolton. Every time they've been asked a question, Bolton, they've come up with the answer at the back, and Medine took a kick there.
He's still doing all the right things, dropping back to take the pressure off his team.
Tonight we've seen just why they are one of the favourites to return to the championship at the first time of asking. Sheffield United also going strong. Scunthorpe had a slip at the weekend, but Graham Alexander's got them going. This Bolton team has got this town smiling again. They are relentless right now, and these may well be worrying times for Bolton Wanderers off the pitch. But this pitch is a place of solace, and they are doing their talking on it right now. Gary Medine with a couple of goals. He got the ball rolling. Josh Vella with a wonderful strike as well. Probably the pick of the goals. But then this man stepped up to light this place up with a fantastic finish as well. Take your pick. There are plenty to choose from. Bolton Wanderers have beaten Gillingham by 4-0, and Gary have been impressive tonight.
Impressive to say the least. I think that's an understatement. On the first whistle, as a team, they got it together. They closed down together. They passed together. They went forward together. It was just so impressive to watch at times. Team spirit like that goes right through the team, built on that defence.
Well, Stuart Nelson made a couple of big saves too for Gillingham to keep the scoreline down, but Gillingham just simply couldn't cope with Bolton, particularly in the first half.
No, it was just, I said they'd not done a great deal wrong, and they hadn't. It was just Bolton had done a great deal right. And when you see the quality of the goals and some of the play, you think, you just sit there and smile.
Well, let's hear from two of the heroes. They are with David Craig.
Gary, Sammy, congratulations. Gary, how much do you enjoy playing as a striker when you get deliveries like that to feed on?
Yeah, you know, when I'm playing with the likes of Sammy, Jay, Cliffy, Josh, you know, it makes my job a lot easier. I've not got as many goals as I'd like, but that's 3 and 2 now, so I'm hoping I can pick on.
Sammy, that's becoming a trademark strike for you now, isn't it? That's type of goal.
Yeah, I'm just hitting it and it's just going in, I guess. But yeah, really enjoying playing alongside these boys, and hopefully more to come.
Gary, did that result underline tonight, despite what's going on off the pitch, that the Bolton players are fully focused on the job in hand?
Yeah, you know, we're trying not to listen to that. You know, we're professionals at the end of the day, and we're a good group of lads. We all get on great. Got a lot of good players, you know, and we've kept a hold of the likes of, you know, Josh and Cliffy, that people have put bids in before they could have left, and credit to them, they've stayed. They want to get us back in the next league, and we're all really enjoying it.
Sammy, was it important you took the opportunity to grab second place back tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously we saw the game earlier, put us back into third, and we said that we wanted to go out with a bang, and you know we did. And obviously it's credit to the man who's got 2 goals here. He works ever so hard for the team. He deserved it. Yeah.
And Gary, what about some of the youngsters like Josh Vella and Zach Clough, the quality that they bring to the side?
Yeah, I can't believe how much energy they've got. You know, I've never been able to run around as much as them two. So I just stand there, let them do all they're running. Hopefully they can put the ball in the box on me.
Well, congratulations again. Gary, you are the Sky Bet man of the match. Sammy, do the honours.
Oh, very much. Thank you.
Very impressive performance from Bolton, sending out a message to the rest of League One that despite all their problems off the pitch, they are rocking and rolling on it, that's for sure. Up to second in the table. Bolton Wanderers just behind Scunthorpe now by a point. Sheffield United, and we'll see them on Thursday, by the way, Sheffield United in 10 in 10. That should be a cracking game at Coventry. But for Gillingham, sorry to say, they've gone down a place just this evening by losing on goal difference, down to 17th in the table. So coming up for you, the next one in 10 in 10. I mean, they're great, aren't they? We've had, what, 14 goals so far in the 4 games. All home wins so far. I wonder how that will fit the bill tomorrow. It's Norwich against Aston Villa, 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. And plenty of Premier League action coming up this weekend. Crystal Palace against Chelsea. Super Sunday is Bournemouth against Southampton, followed by Manchester City against Arsenal. And Monday Night Football is Everton against Liverpool. And that's all on Sky Sports 1. It's the World Darts Championship coming up. First day is on Thursday on the Sky Sports Darts channel from 7 o'clock. Well, I can't wait to go through all the goals with Peter Beagley because I really enjoyed all those strikes this evening. Bolton Wanderers, well, they look a league ahead of Gillingham and probably a league ahead of the rest at the moment. Big win for them. Well, despite their off-the-field problems, all smiles in Bolton tonight. Gary Medine got them off and running. That was a great cross from Josh Vella, wasn't it? And then Vella himself got the second goal from his mate Zach Clough, the pass, and then Medine in the second half, his second goal of the match. And this, the icing on the cake from Sammy Amiobi. Phil Parkinson doing a fantastic job in the circumstances here. You know, so many problems off the field, papers full of it around here all the time, and yet they produce that.
Yeah, well, that's your relief. You know, you work from sort of Monday to Friday usually in a normal week to play on a Saturday. You know, the games come thick and fast now, and they've prepared well. They knew what Gillingham were going to come and have a game plan and what individuals would be on show for them. And they just concentrated on what they wanted to do, and which was carry on the brilliant work and the form that they've shown. We said about how resilient they were, and we saw that again tonight, but fluid in midfield and brilliant up front, ruthless.
Let's hear from Phil Parkinson, and he's with David Craig now.
Phil, congratulations. You said to us before the game that whatever else was going on, you had to keep the focus on football. Did that performance underline that tonight?
Yeah, definitely. There was a real focus about the display tonight, and sometimes when you're 2-0 up at half-time, it can be difficult. Can be a bit of complacency can creep in. You know, the opposition's got to have a reaction, but I was so pleased with the second half that we went on to kill the game off.
There was a lot to admire about the performance, but what pleased you most?
I think just the all-round display. I mean, when we moved the ball quickly, you know, we looked a really dangerous side. Some of the quality of the goals was excellent, but also the determination to get the clean sheet right at the end there. David Wheater's coming across to clear the ball, and that's important as well. Defenders thrive off clean sheets as much as strikers want to score goals. So a good all-round display, I thought. We're really pleased. You know, we're not going to get too carried away with it because we've got another big game at the weekend, but equally we want to enjoy that winning feeling again.
There's some experience in the side, but there's also some very promising youngsters. How important is that mix to what you're trying to achieve here?
Yeah, very important. You know, we've got, you know, the cool, calm, experienced heads, David Wheater and Jay Spearin, and in and around that, Josh Vella and Cloughie and Sammy Amiobi, because, you know, Sammy's still young. People think he's a bit older because he's been around the scene quite a long time. But those players need that experience, that guidance on the pitch, and they're certainly getting that from the seasoned professionals.
in what is an extremely tough league, how important is it that you take every opportunity when it's presented to you? Grab second back tonight.
Yeah, it's always difficult when you play after everybody else has played, but it was important today that we sent a message to the rest of the division, and I feel we've done that.
And Phil, just finally, the signs on the field are very, very encouraging. If everything can get sorted off the field, how big a help can that be to what you're trying to achieve as a manager and a group of players?
Yeah, obviously it will help, and I'm confident it will happen. This is a terrific club, great supporters, great facilities, and everybody's pulling in the right direction, which is so important. And we've got a really good spirit around the camp at the moment. All the people who work at the training ground and the stadium, everyone's got a spring in the step after what happened last season. And we want to keep that there, and more performances like that will certainly help.
Wish you well.
Thank you.
Yeah, he'll keep it calm as well, won't he? Because you can't get ahead of yourself.
No, absolutely not. And you can't get too high, you can't get too low in this division. Feet on the floor, and just continue doing what they're doing, which is climbing the league. Being absolutely brilliant to form recently as well. And when you talk about the adversity, it's not affecting the players at all.
You have to love the goals.
Brilliant. I mean, so bright and inventive, fluent play. Terrific, really. The combination of the youngsters here, Clough, and that, the individual ability, dribbling ability as well, and absolutely fantastic. You went to release the ball, and then this ball here as well, running off the ball. Medine is a great target, a great foil from staying in that central position. Work rate's improved and takes up a fantastic position on the back of the defender here. He never gets a look at him, but this is a wonderful, wonderful cross to pick him out. And it just says go and head it and score. And that's what centre forwards feed off. He hasn't been in a rich vein of goal scoring form, but when he gets the ball in the air, he's devastating in the box.
What about the young players? The two, Clough and Vella combining ever so well, don't they?
I just love the way they go and express themselves, and that comes from the manager as well. Go out and play, play them in the right positions. There's a freedom. Vella playing central where Clough likes to go, but coming off the line, football intelligence, go and have a bearing, join in, pass and move football, hard to pick up. Hard to mark, and because when you've got bodies running off you, he's made that run there because easily have not got the ball because there was someone central, but then to have the poise and the position to the lovely little back heel, there's the flair, and it's a wonderful finish from a midfielder who's in rich goal scoring form. And at that stage it was sort of what Bolton are made of. Quick start and then close the game out, manage it well with the two centre-halves that we're talking about, and the influence of Spearing and Thorpe in midfield.
It is a great balance Bolton have got, isn't it? Because Medine can do the old-fashioned stuff when necessary. He did so in the second half.
Well, you need that, We've seen many goals that are from set pieces as well, so when you can set it up and get people in important positions, he's got very good movement. What it is as well, he's got a real desire. We saw on the first goal where he's not worried if he gets clattered off the keeper or for the post and that, but when you've got people like Spearing, and Vella who can pick you out like that, wonderful technique. He's taken an instant picture and putting it 5 yards in front of Medine, who's going to beat his marker, Cargill, again, with a little drop of the shoulder, comes towards the ball and then spins around the back. And we say about the desire, and he's got that. And I thought he led the line brilliant today, and the fourth was just the icing on the cake for me.
Wasn't it? And I love Sammy's smile. He really enjoyed himself, which is good to see.
Yeah, he did, and he's getting minutes on the pitch. Sometimes you can be brought off as a wide man, but he gives him that. And Wilson here, we'll not forget about the fullback. Wanting the desire to go forward and unselfish running off the ball, takes the double cover off Sammy. We see Wilson there, run out wide, which takes Konchesky away there to a degree, and the switch over, Bradley Dack goes out, but that is an unerring finish. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's like two pieces of cotton hanging from his shorts there. It doesn't look to have that power, but that just shows it's come out the middle of the bat. Tremendous strike, and he's gaining a reputation for doing that, Sammy. It looks like he's found a home, go and express himself. Suits that system remarkably well in one of the three behind the central striker, and built on a solid base, as we say. Another clean sheet, which Phil will be equally as pleased as well as the 4 goals.
You mentioned Gary Medine leading the line. It's a phrase which has sort of gone a bit out of use, hasn't it?
Yeah, but you need it central strike. You need him to hold the ball. You need somebody, a pivot, to play off. Particularly if you've got a fluid midfield, someone who's strong enough, comes down the line of the ball, looks after it. It's reliability, responsibility, and he's got that, and then be a genuine target. And you know what? He attacks the ball brilliantly well. He knocks the ball off, he gets out wide, and then he has the desire to get in the box. We see him there in the build-up. This is the one for me. And then Wilson's crossing it, and he's sprinted 25 yards to try and put a challenge in on the keeper. That's the desire. And then we talk about strikers have got to have individual ability because they've got to create chances out on their own. But in the modern game, when you've got guaranteed servers of the ball who can isolate fullbacks and then get the cross in, vast majority of the time you want him to stay central.
I think Scunthorpe are coming up soon, but no one's going to enjoy playing Bolton when they see that, are they? No one in the league is going to enjoy.
No, because they're so well drilled. You know, everybody has a role and responsibility, and they're playing it to the the full now at the moment. I think they're in a fantastic vein of form, and Phil, he's got tremendous experience, and he'll see that form doesn't dip.
Need to talk about Gillingham a little bit because Justin Edinburgh getting stuff on the internet already. That won't help Justin Edinburgh, will it?
No, they're disappointing for Justin as well. The players coming back, and after a fantastic result against Rochdale, you think that they've turned the corner and everything, and then all of a sudden, listen, let's not look at that. People will say it wasn't a 4-0. We played against a ruthless side full of quality individuals. He'll be more upset that they've conceded 4 goals, but they haven't really threatened against the Bolton side.
OK, let's hear from Justin Edinburgh now. He's with David Craig.
Justin, clearly a disappointing evening for you. What went wrong from your perspective?
I think sometimes you have to look at the opposition and compliment them, and I think tonight there was no complaints for us. They were far the better side and worthy of the victory.
Is it too simple to suggest that perhaps the layoff came at the wrong time for you after you've been in a good run of form?
I don't think we can look at that now. I think, it's a long while to be without a game. Probably, I thought we started the game okay, to be honest. I didn't think that was the problem, but I just think the golf today, some of them players are championship players, and we're striving to get near them teams like Bolton, but I think some of their finishing, Dean was a threat all night, and people like Bailey Cargill and will learn a lot from tonight. He's a young boy. It's been excellent for us, but it was a learning curve for him tonight, as it was for a lot of our players. I said after Paul Konjeski at 35, probably our best player, and our players have got to look at that and make sure that we strive to be better, and Bolton are an aim and a target.
Clearly it's a disappointed Gillingham dressing room. How important is it you get a very positive reaction in your next game with MK Dons?
Well, as a manager, that's what you look for. That's what we'll be demanding. We're at home. It's a disappointing result. I don't think the boys give everything they got, but tonight it just isn't enough.
Wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, cracking the whip. 10 in 10's going well, isn't it? That's 14 goals in 4 games so far.
Absolutely, entertainment, value for money, definitely, and long may it continue.
Yeah, tomorrow night it continues. We've got Norwich tomorrow night against Aston Villa. They've all been home wins so far, and as I say, we've had 14 goals. So let's see what it tomorrow brings with Norwich against Aston Villa, 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. That'll be 5 of the 10. And we're back, I think, on Thursday, Peter. Me and you together at Coventry against Sheffield United, which should be another cracking game as well. Looking forward. Thanks a lot, Peter.
Cheers, mate.
And despite all Bolton's problems, it's all happy tonight at the Macron. 4 goals they've beaten Gillingham by. From all of us, goodbye.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live. On all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.